And at this session, we're going to talk about the last topic about parts. Here actually we create a family. Actually, you can use it in flooring. For instance, if we model a family which contains voids, I'm talking about a family which only contains voids. Let me sketch this floor. You can combine that family with parts and it would be great. For instance, you can create a generic model face-based. It should be face-based, don't forget. And then void extrusion. Actually, I don't want to spend too much time, so I prepare a simple thing. For instance, 5 centimeters for offset. And then I add some lines by this way to complete the geometry and to be able to convey a message about using families and parts together. Consider this shape, for example. I trim the lines by this way, trim and extend them. Well done. Consider this as a void extrusion, as you can see in properties, that we're gonna load this as a face-based family into the project. But let me complete it. Then after loading this into project, you will see that the flooring will be divided into some parts, and these parts which are divided are not separated from each other by parts. I mean the tool of create parts. Since here we have used void extrusion for creating the model or design, and that would be recognized by parts. Let me trim the extra lines by this way so that you will understand. As such a condition, if you want to operate parts, you have to click on divide parts. Wait for a second, finish. So you can click on divide parts and then have the division by this way. I cut this and then I load it into my project. Let me check the dimensions. Following that, I load it and then I want to place it on face by this way. I click on place on face like this way, as you can see. As you can see, these families have some effects on the floor. If I zoom in, you can see voids or like grooves. I mean, when you use void extrusion in creating such a design, and then if we create parts, as you can see, these are recognized as individual parts. I mean, this could be an approach for you to use it in your models for modifying the materials of each of the parts, or work on the depth and the thicknesses of each of the parts and other required additions. And a short review about scheduling. When you create parts from a specific element, for instance, if I uncheck material by original and then I modify the material in material browser, I associate something else, or I modify the volume of this part by this way. And then if I create a schedule table, for instance, I choose floors as the category which is going to be scheduled. Then I add area and volume as the scheduled fields by this way, and then for instance family and types. Okay, let's check it out. However, we got only one floor in the project, but the given value is not the actual value of area and volume of the existing floor here. If I enlarge the size of the floor by this way, and then I wanna create a new schedule, but this time I choose parts for the category. So here we got a specific category or an individual category for parts. After that, I should specify the fields. First of all, as I told you before, we should add original category, which shows or displays the original category or the associate category of the part and the original type. Following that, I choose area and volume, base levels and stuff like that, if it is excluded or not, and other fields like material and also volume But since here we got different types of categories in the project, so first of all I sort them by original category and then by original type. Well done, let's check it out. Then if I sort them, as you can see here, each of the parts are given as a floor. Although we have a specified parts as the category, but each of these parts are recognized as a floor. This is a piece of floor, and the family of each of the geometries or elements is given to you in the list of a schedule of parts. So note that you can either calculate the original type and the category of each of the elements. As we did see, we calculated the area and the volume of the original types and the categories, or the area and the volume of the parts of the category. For instance, here the vol, if I want to calculate the total values and then show them, and also the total value for area and volume, calculate totals by this way. Let's check it out in the part schedule. These values are related to the parts, but if I open floor schedule, the volume is 57 cubic meters, while if I check the volume in part schedule is 102 cubic meters. 86, I made a mistake. Here the volumes of walls and floors both are given. Here we can even specify the material as the available field which we want it to be scheduled. Check this out, let me sort them by material. For instance, we got two types of materials in floors, copper and default floor, so that you can distinguish the different types of the floor, which were two types, the default and the copper, by this way. The copper floors were customized, by the default not. So you're allowed to create schedules from the created parts from the existing elements in your project.